Let's go back to Canberra now and catch up with the Shadow Immigration Minister Dan Tehan, because immigration's been a big issue in Parliament today. Thanks for joining us, Dan. You've been into the government for these extraordinary rates of immigration we're experiencing at the moment, and of course the pressures that's putting on certain sectors of the economy.
That's correct, Chris. 1.6 million people, according to the budget forecast that the government put out themselves. Now, just to give you a sense of that, that's over the next 4 years, that's a city the size of Adelaide coming to this nation. And we know that housing starts are going backwards. We've got a rental crisis in this country. So it's completely out of whack. People are saying to me, when I point out to the fact that that's how many people are coming, they say, where are we going to put them? And that is the big question. And what we're starting to see is actually housing starting to go backwards. We've had one of the large mills in my electorate have to lay off staff because they are not able to supply the timber to the housing sector that they normally do, because the demand's not there, because the houses aren't being built. So this is a calamity of the government's making, and we're going to keep pointing it out that once again they're making a mess of immigration.
Yeah, there's no doubt it exacerbates the housing crisis greatly. But the government's come back to you is that not so long ago you were calling for higher immigration. Here's the Prime Minister.
And then we had the Shadow Minister for Immigration. Don't worry, you didn't miss either, sunshine. We need to get our international students back. We need to get our working holiday visa holders back. He was out there calling for more and more.
Yeah, Dan Tehan, presumably that's about getting migration back happening after we'd closed our borders for 2 years during the pandemic.
That's exactly right. And I said to the Prime Minister over the dispatch box, read the date on that comment. I was, as you would remember, Chris, the Trade and Tourism Minister during COVID, and we closed the borders. And so we did want to get our international students back. We did want to get our backpackers back, but not in the numbers that this government is doing, not at record levels. We had 500,000 permanent and semi-permanent people come into Australia last calendar year. That is hitting records this country has never, ever seen before.
Yep.
They are leading us down a path where they have no plan, there's no housing, there's no rents, you can't see a doctor.
Yep.
Congestion's back in our capital cities because they've had to cut funding with regards to infrastructure. It's a mess.
We will keep chasing these issues. Thanks for joining us, Dan Tehan. I appreciate it.